Hey everybody, how's it going today?
I'm great, thanks for asking. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about homemade fermented compost using what's called Bokashi. I've got some Bokashi my friend gave me here. He had a rather large bag of it and separated me out some. What Bokashi is, first of all, it's a Japanese term referring to several things. It can be referring to gradation. Also, there's a type of writing style, I believe it's called Bokashi, but for my purposes, what Bokashi means to me is actually this is a fermented grain starter. And so what it's going to do is I've already started the process here, but we're going to make Bokashi buckets today so that I can have an organic fermented compost for my garden coming up. We've only got a month or two left of this weather out there, so hopefully it'll be time to start tilling the garden soon, and I'm going to till a lot of this right into the soil. Basically what I'm aiming for is a live compost. It's going to be an amended super soil type of deal. I'll be right back. I've taken the leftovers from various vegetables and things that I've been doing in the past and just stored them in this container here. So that's your start, is to build your foundation for the compost. You need to take as many, say you're chopping onions, throw the onion holes in here, the skins from the onion. Tomatoes, if you don't like the stem portion of the tomato at the top, just throw that in here. Whatever you're cutting up, bell peppers, any sort of fruits or vegetables. I've heard coffee grinds are good as well. I haven't done any meat in here. I do have some eggshells and things of that nature. But there's no meat. I've heard people using fish. I've also heard people using bones to a certain extent, beef and chicken bones. I'm just going to stay away from all that. I'm not too comfortable with how it's going to react to the process. So what I've started with is just a Tupperware full of my refuge, my remnants from preparing food. What you're going to need for this is just 2 5-gallon buckets and 1 lid. You can get these at Home Depot or Lowe's. Obviously, I've got mine at Home Depot's. That's what's nearby. You're also going to need a drill with the drill bit about that size. I don't know if you can see it. I really have no idea what size that is. It just looked good to me. You need to make holes in the bottom of one of your buckets. I've already done that. So you can see I just kind of followed the circle. As I started getting to the inside, I got tired of punching holes, so it just started kind of going all over the place. That's what you're looking for, though. You want to have holes in the bottom so that when this begins to ferment and the Bokashi actually begins to eat this for food, it's going to create a drip. And what you're going to do is you're going to put this bucket inside of the bucket that has no holes. You have one with no holes, one with holes. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see it from there, but there's about this much space at the bottom of the bucket. What that's going to do as the Bokashi starts eating the fruits and vegetables, whatever refuge you have in there, it's going to create a liquid that's going to drip down into the base of this bucket here. What that liquid is basically just a food booster for whatever fruit or whatever you're growing in your garden. It's going to create an amended soil that's going to create an environment that will allow for the natural organic processes of growing without fertilizers or chemicals to develop. One thing that I think that I forgot to mention about this process is this is an anaerobic process. What that means is you have no oxygen or very little oxygen in the environment. When I've fermented jalapenos and things in the past using lacto fermentation, that's one of the ferment processes. It's an anaerobic fermentation process, excuse me. It's a mouthful. So what I'm going to try and do, I've also got this turkey bag here. So after I put my stuff in here and we get ready to finish, I'm going to cover it with this just to create a seal, an airtight seal on the top, and that's going to create my anaerobic environment. So let's get started here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take some, I got a little hole in the side of my Bokashi bag here. Looks like something's been nibbling through. Pest. Out here, pests are pests. They get in everywhere, they tear up the walls. As you can see here, I've got something been nibbling through my Bokashi, but we're just going to go ahead and do this for practical purposes here. So you take a good handful of Bokashi and you can just sprinkle it around on the bottom of your lead bucket. I'm calling the lead bucket the one with the holes in it. So Just give a good sprinkling on the bottom. I just took a handful and sprinkled it all around, just made sure it was completely covered. Let's just do another one. So the Bokashi, from what I hear, it likes to eat up. So that's why you put it on the bottom first. After you put the Bokashi in and create your bottom layer of Bokashi, which is, it just looks like dirt on the bottom there. There's not much. I'm gonna start taking some of my vegetables here and just kind of throw them into the bucket. And what we're doing is we're gonna make like a little plate of this vegetable stuff. So you're making discs inside of here with pressure. So you can take your turkey bag and just kind of start pushing down. You want to put some force into it too. If you've got, I had a whole tomato or a whole tomatillo in here that was going bad, so I just decided to throw that in there. So you just want to make sure that this stuff is broken up pretty good. I have heard in the past you can use a potato masher. I'm just doing it over the bag just to get a good mash down. So go ahead and just throw the rest of that in there. Now in the future, I have saved up quite a bit of just garbage from leftover vegetables and stuff like that. In the future, I'm going to be doing it in smaller segments, smaller increments, so that way I can actually make it more malleable to break and press the fruits and vegetables down. And it doesn't smell. I've just had this stuff in the fridge in a container for my cooking purposes, and I use a lot of fresh vegetables and things, so I do have a lot of extra. It goes in about a week. I filled that thing up. All right, let's see if I can show you. One-man film crew here, folks. Deal with it. So as you see here, I've got just my first starter puck. I've also got the Bokashi underneath that as well. What I'm gonna do is take some more Bokashi and just kind of sprinkle it in over the top, just like so. And so what that's gonna do is it's gonna start fermenting what vegetables are in there, which is gonna lead to the creation of my super fertilizer, if you will. So I'm going to keep this process going. You just keep stocking up on the vegetables, keep stocking up on the Bokashi, and every time you put a puck in, or you put more on top of this, you want to flatten it down and then put more Bokashi on the top. So you're doing a layer of the crushed layer of Bokashi, a layer of the crushed vegetables, another sprinkling of Bokashi, layer of crushed vegetables, sprinkle of Bokashi, all the way till you get to the top of the bucket. That could potentially take a month or two. After it gets to the very top, you're going to cover the top with Bokashi, put your bag back on the top to create that anaerobic environment, and then just set the bucket somewhere away in a cool environment and let it do its thing for a couple months. Let me get this back how it was. Doubt I can do it. Okay, I need a camera person. Hopefully that worked. So what I'm going to do now is just take my bag back, go ahead and put it down inside of here. Just make sure it's completely sealed all the way around the outside, so there's no air getting to it. Looks pretty good. Okay. Yep. And I'm going to go ahead and throw the lid back on. Okay. Well, that is how you make a Bokashi bucket. This is going to sit tight, covered. Just keep it in the corner somewhere. After a few days, you should start to smell almost a pickling smell, if I will. That shows that it's fermenting and it's not rotting. If for whatever reason you do open this and it just smells like total dumpster garbage, you should probably get rid of it because you've allowed some sort of air to get in there at some point. Like I said, I don't use meat in this. I have heard of people using meat. There's obviously some ancient European and Native American practices that involve putting whole fish at the bottom of whatever they're planting, and as the fish deteriorates into the soil, it keeps the plant fertilized with those nutrients. I'm not at that stage yet with what I'm doing here, so I'm just going to keep it strictly fruits and vegetables, coffee grounds, eggs, eggshells, avocado hulls, whatever you think is reasonable for going in there. Do some research on this stuff. I'm still learning about it. I hope this was informative for you folks. Have fun with it. I'd hope to see what you guys are coming up with, and if I missed anything or you don't think something's right, please let me know. Aside from that, like, share, subscribe. I'll be coming at you with more content all summer. Thanks.